Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're doing another range day session. I've brought out a couple of rifles I wanted to play with at the long range. It's really a nasty, cold, sort of windy day, and we just wanted to get out here and do some shooting with a couple of rifles that I'm still playing around with. And one of them, of course, is the HK MR762A1 LRP, and I brought that out today with some ammunition well suited for long range shooting, which is the Federal Gold Medal Match 175 grain SMKs. Great ammunition. I'm going to be shooting that out of the H&K, and I also want to further evaluate the VXR Leupold scope, which is a 3 to 9 power scope. I don't think that it's really set up well for anything much past 800 yards or so. The base doesn't have any elevation adjustment built into it, and the scope runs out of elevation at 1,000 yards. I found that out last time. So I'm going to take a look at this, and I'm going to evaluate whether or not I want to put a different scope on the rifle to get it all the way out to 1,000 yards. And then I want to shoot it for groups and get it settled in with these 175 grain loads as well. The other rifle I brought out was my Christmas present. And I just wanted to get this thing sighted in, see how it's shooting, and stretch its legs a little bit. I only have 100 yards at the range back on the Mac property, so I wanted to see how this thing's shooting, do any adjustments I need to the sights, and show you guys one more time what this rifle looks like on the range. It's just a beautiful rifle and an awesome shooting rifle. So let's go ahead and get started and do some shooting. What I'm going to do now is fire the LRP over the chronograph with some Federal ammunition. This is 175 grain CR Match King loads, Federal Gold. This is courtesy of Federal, great ammunition. I use it all the time. I'm going to fire 5 rounds over the chronograph, and this will give me an idea of what the bullet velocity is out of this barrel, so I can put that into my ballistics calculator, and that will give me my dope or my scope settings as I start to walk this rifle out at further and further ranges. So let's fire the first round here. Make sure I'm lined up with the chronograph so I don't shoot something I shouldn't. First round, 2385, 2349, 2307. That may be a fluke. Not a whole lot of sunlight out there today. And you have to keep in mind, these chronographs work off sunlight. They're looking at the bullet passing over the top of the chronograph. And if you don't have a lot of light, you don't have ample light, it can give false readings. 2331 and 2386. All right, so that gives me an idea of how fast these bullets are going on average. I'll dump that into the ballistics calculator, and then I'll start again to work my way out at different ranges. All right, so I've went ahead and put the dope in my ballistics computer. A lot of you guys ask me what computer I use. It's called Mildot Ballistics for the iPhone. And it seems to be a fairly good application. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's what the app screen looks like. I've put the dope in there. Now I'm going to walk this out to 500 yards. And Jason behind me here is going to spot me. What Jason is looking for is called bullet trace. You guys have seen it in my videos before. Some of you guys have commented about it. But what you can see when the wind conditions, not necessarily the wind conditions, but the atmospheric conditions are right, you can actually see the bullet streak through the air towards the target. If you have a good spotter that knows how to look for that trace and how to set the spotting scope up to see it, you can then walk your rounds in on target even if you're missing. So that's what he's going to be doing. Now the conditions out here are less than ideal. We have white steel targets against a white snowy background, so it's really hard to see what's going on out there. But we're going to go ahead and give this a shot. I'm going to go out to 500 yards. Again, I'm loading up some 175 grain Federal Gold Medal Match SMKs. I'm going to load 5 rounds here really quick. And then we'll slap them in the LRP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. This Leupold scope it's a nice clear scope, but I wouldn't say it's ideally suited for target shooting. It should be okay when I'm shooting at steel targets. Now what it's telling me here is I need 3.9 mils of elevation. So just one click shy of 4. And that should put us on steel. Now that's not going to account for wind. Looks like I'm zeroed out on wind. I'll probably have to come about a ½ mil left, maybe a ¼ mil, we'll see, to get it on target. So here we go. Let's send a round down range and see what we get. I can't remember if I chambered around or not. Yep, I did. And now I'm past the forward assist. There we go. All right. This is only a 9 power scope, but at 500 I can see the target fairly clearly. All right, Jason, shooter ready.
Send it.
I saw it hit right.
Right, yep.
So that's the wind value, okay? So we could see the bullet hit the dirt, elevation was spot on. It was just a little bit right. I could spot my own shot because the recoil on the LRP is light enough, even without a muzzle brake, that I could get my scope back over to the target quickly enough to see the bullet hit. So I'm just going to do a holdover. I'm not going to dial in the windage. I'm just going to do a quick hold and see if I can hit steel this time. Once I confirm I can do that, then I'll probably dial it into the scope to lock it in. I was shooting at the smaller of the two. Did you see which one I shot at?
Yeah, I was on the big one. I'm on the small one now.
I'm going to move back over to the big one.
Okay.
Because even if I'm a half mil off, I'll still hit steel. Shooter ready.
Send it. Hit.
Yep, looks like it, what, dead center? Pretty close?
Yeah, about the 6 o'clock.
Yep, I see it. Okay, so I don't know if you guys could hear that on the microphone, but we can actually hear the round hit the target. I did a half mil left hold for wind, and it was spot on. It pretty much put us right on steel, right where we wanted to be. I'm going to send another one. Shooter ready.
Send it.
All right.
6 o'clock. Same spot.
Shooter ready.
Send it.
Yeah, it's grouping really solid. So,
very good group.
yeah, it's grouping really nice down there at these rounds. It's banging the steel. Now, the commands that you hear us giving back and forth is just how a shooter and a spotter will communicate to each other. People may have different lingo, but when I say shooter ready, it means I'm on target. I'm ready to take the shot within just a few seconds. And if you have your spotter calling wind for you, things like that, it's important to let them know when you're ready, because not only will they be watching for bullet trace and rounds impacting, but your spotter may also give you feedback for wind conditions. They may say, you know, give it an extra half mil left hold because the wind just kicked up. And so that communication between you and your spotter can be critical. We got quite a bit of wind out there, man.
Yes, we do. At least 15, 20 miles an hour.
All right, shooter ready.
Send it.
Wow. Beautiful. Yeah, this thing's shooting really, really good with those Federal SMKs, 175 grainers. So this thing's spot on. And my hold is rock solid, so if I wanted to, I could go ahead and go and dial a half mil left and not use my holdovers anymore. Now, when I say holdovers, what I'm talking about is I'm using a mil reticle. And a mil reticle will have hash marks, both for elevation and for windage. Each one of those in here is a half mil value. 2 dashes is 1 mil, 1 dash is a half a mil, or 5 clicks of the scope, or 5 MRADs. It's not the metric system, but it's based in tens, much like the metric system, the mil system that I'm talking about. And it's the system that I prefer. Some folks prefer MOA, and that's fine. What I don't get, and what I would never buy, is one of those scopes that has a mil dot reticle and MOA adjustments in the target tower, because now you have to add an extra layer of math to do the conversion between the mil reticle and your adjustments on your scope towers. So I'm just a mil guy. It's easy for me to think in tens, and that's what I use. All right, I've dialed in a half mil left. Let's see if the scope's tracking. When dead, hold it. Shooter ready.
Send it. About the 8 o'clock position.
Yep, I see it. So I may have come just a little too far. I'm going to send one more. Shooter ready.
Send it.
It's grouping nice.
Yes, it is.
All right, so it hit about the same spot.
Same spot, yep.
We're going to send one more. Ready.
Send it.
Wow.
That group is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's shooting a phenomenal group at 500 yards. This is really, really nice. We can see the steel target. It's painted. It was freshly painted, so we can actually see the bullet impacts on the steel out there. I'm going to send one more. Ready?
Send it. That one is on the 8 o'clock edge.
Yep, I see it. Ready?
Send it.
Right in the pack of the other ones.
Yep.
So it's grouping really, really well at 500. Yeah. Now this scope isn't going to have enough elevation. Last time I had it out here, I simply didn't have enough elevation adjustment in the scope to get it all the way out to 1,000 yards. We ran a couple of mils short. This scope, obviously, this mount that it's sitting on, obviously doesn't have 20 MOA of elevation built into it, which means it's basically canting the scope forward, giving you more elevation. So to get it out to 1,000 and not have to use holdovers, I'm going to have to change scopes and change mounts. I don't have to change scopes. I can put a 20 MOA base on it. I could probably get enough elevation with this scope to get it out to 1,000, but I'm going to put a higher magnification scope on it eventually with a 20 MOA base, and that'll help me walk it out to 1,000 yards, which is my ultimate goal with this rifle. All right, rifle's clear on safe.
Favor the top of the target.
All right, so I brought out the FN49 today as well. I have some privy. I think it's 150 grain military 30-06 loads. Yeah, 150 grain. And I have a few rounds of this out here with me today, so I'm going to go ahead and get this thing sighted in at 100 yards. I'm going to shoot a group here and make sure that these old sights are set. It looks like for windage, if I have to adjust it too much, I have to drift a dovetailed front sight, which I'm hoping I don't have to do, because it's kind of hard to do minute adjustments or subtle adjustments when you're drifting a sight without a tool or something, if you have to tap on it with a hammer. All right, so I got an F-class target out at 100 yards. I want to fire a 3-shot group here really quick, this old girl, and see how she does. Hopefully these sights are pretty much on. Downrange at 100 yards, checking the target after firing the FN49. And this is with the privy ammunition, 150 grain, 30-06. Check this group out. That's about an 1.25 inch group, again at 100 yards. So the sights really are working for me. That fine front blade makes it much easier to shoot for groups at 100 yards than my M1 Garand, which has a slightly broader front blade. Shot a couple of groups out here today. That's definitely the best of the groups, but still, that's quite impressive. I think the worst group we shot out here today was like 1 3/4 inch. So it's definitely shooting very well, especially with that privy ammunition. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed coming out to the range with us this afternoon. I really had a good time shooting the H&K. The LRP is a great shooting rifle. I was really surprised with the groups that we're getting on steel at 500 yards with the 175 grain SMK Federal Gold Medal loads. Again, this ammunition is courtesy of Federal. It's really good stuff. You see me using it here on the channel for many, many years. The 175s, the rifle seems to like, so I'm going to continue to use them. I think that's going to be the right load to get me out to 1,000 yards. What I'm probably going to have to switch out is the scope. Now, the loophole scope that comes on the rifle is ideally suited for military police type applications. It's a 3 to 9 power scope, but 9 power really isn't enough magnification to do what I want to do with it, and that's shoot tiny groups or target shoot. This rifle is really set up, again, for more or less the DMR role. So what I'm probably going to do is take a Vortec optic that goes out to 24 power or up to 24 power. I'm going to couple that with an ADM mount that has 20 MOA of elevation built into it. I'm going to stick that on this rifle, and that should get us out to 1,000 yards with that Federal Gold Medal match ammo. So I'm really looking forward to the next time I get this thing out to the range, and I'll bring you guys along when I do that and show you how I swap out the scopes and all that stuff. I also had a great time shooting my Christmas present, the FN49. What a beautiful rifle. This thing is just a dream to shoot. I really enjoy shooting it. I'm glad I got it zeroed. I've been itching to get it out here to the long range. I wish we could have shot it at a little bit further range, but because of the conditions with the snow on the ground and the white targets, I really couldn't see much past 200 yards. But I'll bring it out again. I'll bring out the M1 Garand. I'll shoot it next to the M1 Garand, see how they fare against each other. And I got some other Cold War era type rifles, I should say. Late World War II, Cold War era rifles that I'm going to bring out as well and show you guys. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I think you guys will like the rifles. If you guys have any questions about anything you've seen in this video, you can, of course, ask those questions on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/military arms. Also, please come by Instagram and check us out there. I'll put a link down below. Also, please come by Copper Custom, our online store. If you want to support the Military Arms channel, that's the best way to do it. We have a lot of products, great prices. That's coppercustom.com. Again, I'll put a link down below. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll talk to you guys soon.